So with the London Marathon fast approaching, I thought I'd put together a little series where I try all my carbon plate racing shoes and some other shoes that could potentially be marathon contenders, and put together my thoughts in this series to help you guys select your marathon racing shoe. Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. It's me, Running Man Sam. What I've decided to do after some input from a few viewers on two bases is that basically people want to know some of my favourite carbon plate racing shoes, and people want to know what I'm doing to train for the London Marathon. So I've decided to combine them and make them into one type of series type video kind of thing. So what I did today, I went for a long run with my brother with the GoPro in the New Balance RC Elite 2. I talk about my sort of structure to the training that I'm going to be doing on the day, and as we move forward in the series, obviously I'll go into more detail about the training I do on a week by week basis. Anyway, the main purpose of today's one, with the first video in the series, was to take the New Balance RC Elite 2 on a longer run with some marathon pace efforts in them in there to kind of see whether it's just a really super comfy shoe, or whether it's one of them shoes that I actually really could decide to wear for the London Marathon. Now, as I said, I've got loads of carbon plate racing shoes, as you guys know. Plan was, with the GoPro, to go up for 12 miles. I'm going to attach this run here. You can see how we got on, and then we will talk about it afterwards. So, just got to the GoPro's house. One thing I have really noticed about these shoes, which is neither a good thing or a bad thing, it's just a thing, is that they are really comfortable to just walk in. And I actually drove in these shoes here, which is about a 25-minute, half-hour drive. There's no way I'd be able to drive in the Adios Pro 2 or the Next Percent. So if you want a pair of awesome racing shoes and driving shoes, the New Balance RC Elite 2 is the one for you. But we're going to find out what it's like today on a 12-mile run. It's quite warm out, about 24 degrees C. Probably just going to do most of it at kind of around about 7:30, 7:40 pace, maybe with a little bit of marathon pace, 6:45, 6:50 per mile pace chucked in. And we enter the lair of the GoPro. Hey GoPro!
I'm running master.
How are you feeling about doing 12 miles today?
I don't really need to be doing it, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Pretend that I'm really excited to do this, but I'm really not at all. And I've said a couple of times, I'm really not looking forward to doing this marathon. I'm aiming to target a sort of 6:45 to 6:50 minute mile pace, which would bring me under 3 hours, about 3:52, 54, something like that. So just getting some water in, and then we are off to do 12 miles. Does anyone ever have it when you're about to go for a long run or an interval run, you feel absolutely fine, just about to go out the door, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you need to go to the toilet? It always happens to me. I've realised what I keep doing all the time now, and it's starting to do my head in, is I forgot my headband. I hate running without a headband because I literally sweat so much from my head, and all the salt goes into my eyes. The GoPro has stripped. Tops off. Tops off.
Too hot for this, man.
Mine will be off soon, I reckon. It is absolutely boiling. Okay, so 2 miles in so far, 7 minute 40 per mile for both miles, roughly. I'll chuck the kilometre pace up here somewhere, I don't know it off the top of my head. 2 down, 10 to go. We appear to have lost the GoPro a bit. I think he's struggling with the DOMs from the sprints and the tempo run. So we might be slowing down a bit soon, I think. To be fair, I'm feeling it in my legs after those sessions, those sprints. Big old hill coming up.
That's a big old hill. So, pulls it about 3.25 miles in. Just waiting for the GoPro. He is, I think he's struggling a bit today. So just got at the top of this hill. And I'm gonna give him a chance to catch up and get his breath back. Here's the longest run he's done since being injured with his stress fracture. So if we got to call it early, we got to call it early. I've still got ages until the marathon, but so I'm not too worried if we can't get 12 miles in today. But it is a good test for the New Balance RC Elite. So far with the New Balance RC Elite 2, I'm finding them very stable, very comfortable, very bouncy. We haven't got it at anything towards marathon pace yet, but it just feels good when I pick the pace up. I'm still not quite sure it's got that carbon plate sort of explosiveness that sort of like the Adios Pro 2 and the Next Percent 2 and all that have, but it's still early days. So we changed the plan, and that is fine. That's what I was saying to Lewis. He's disappointed, but I said it's realism, isn't it? You know, we set out to do 12. He's struggling a bit today, which is not a problem at all. We get out to 4 miles up here, so we're going to carry on running in a minute, get up to 4, and then we're going to turn around and we're going to sign off at 8 miles today, which is still fine. Like I said, I've got plenty of time until the marathon. I'm happy with 8 miles just today, it's fine. Doing the chase backs and then trying to catch up to marathon pace. So obviously I'm running faster than marathon pace to get the mile at marathon pace target, but it's given me a good little workout for the shoes. I think they're quite good actually. They are incredibly comfortable, incredibly bouncy. They do come into it a bit more the faster you run. You can feel, I wouldn't say you can feel the plate, they just feel a little bit more maybe responsive than when you're running slower. I've been in these shoes now for over an hour and they're still feeling awesome. Right, let's get this last mile and a bit out of the way. Average pace of 7:17 per mile.
So, as you can see, we managed 8.5 miles today. Well, I managed 8.5 miles and Lewis managed 8. And that just goes to show that that's what happens when you're marathon training. It doesn't always go to plan. Had I been running on my own, I probably would have been able to do it. Well, I would have been able to do it. But obviously I was running with Lewis and that's fine. He can do it today. I got a good session out of it. So as you can see, we did 8.5 miles. And I chucked in a little bit of sort of marathon pace in there, kind of, in terms of sort of doing some chase backs to get back to where Lewis was at sort of a recovery pace, and then really going for it to sort of round it up to the mile to get sort of 6 minute, 6:20 minute mile pace there to sort of bring the mile to about 6:40, 6:50 pace. So I'm not going to go into super loads of detail here, and I'm going to take these shoes that I test in this series on other longer runs as the runs get longer throughout the series. This is for me just as much as it is for you. When it comes to marathon race day, I'm going to be wanting to put in on my foot the shoe that I feel most confident in terms of it being the fastest feeling, or in terms of it just being something that I know that's not going to cause me loads of blisters. It's that balance. I was saying to Lewis, it's that balance between comfort, speed, stability, all those kind of things. You've got to get right in the middle. You don't want something to be so fast but feel like it's tearing your feet apart. You don't want something to be a little bit slow feeling but really, really cushioned. It just has to hit that right balance. So in that series, this series here, that is what we are testing. We are testing these shoes at marathon pace at longer distances to see which one I would pick. I enjoyed this shoe a lot more than I thought I would today. But what I mean by that is I love this shoe in terms of it feeling bouncy and comfy and a good fit and stable, and I really like the upper, and there's loads of stuff I like about it. I've just been very dubious about whether or not it's like a racing shoe, because I don't really feel that sort of, I mean, you can see there the shoe bends a lot more than most carbon plate racing shoes, which isn't out and out a bad thing. But as I said, it's something that I was worried about, thinking like, does it really have that pop? Does it really have that responsiveness that you do want in a carbon carbon racing shoe to sort of help you get towards that marathon target that you want. You know, like we said, at the end of the day, you want to be bringing your A game. You know, if you're a warrior, you're going to battle, you want to be bringing your best sword and your best bow and arrow. You don't want to be bringing a wooden sword with you. So we don't want to make sure we're wearing any wooden shoes on the day. This shoe felt a lot faster today than I thought it would. When I was taking it at marathon pace and faster, it did just feel really comfortable, but it also felt responsive. It did feel responsive. Now, I'm still going to go ahead and say that it doesn't feel as snappy and poppy as the Next Percent 2, which I still think out of all the shoes I've ever run in, is the sort of fastest feeling shoe. Now, I do have a lot of drawbacks, which I'm not going to talk about today. I'll talk about that on the Next Percent 2 video in this series. This doesn't have those drawbacks as it has, the Next Percent 2, but it does have other drawbacks, being that I don't think it's sort of out and out as fast. Still more tests to do. I still want to do some longer runs in this shoe. I want to do some more marathon pace stuff in this shoe and see what I think on a longer run basis. But I do think that this is potentially a contender for the London Marathon shoe for me. The next long run will be in a different shoe, maybe the Adios Pro 2 maybe, or the Adios Pro 1, just to sort of get some comparisons in, which is going to be next week at some point. And as I said, throughout the series, I'm also going to talk about the training that I'm doing. Obviously, if you guys want to know a little bit more detail in each session, you can let me know in the comments below what else you'd like me to talk about that run or about my week and that kind of thing. And again, if there's anything you want to know more about today, just let me know in the comments below about the shoe, about sort of the structure to the training run that we was doing today for the London Marathon. Then always let me know in the comments below or ask me a question in the comments below. You guys know that I always try and respond to every single comment within reason. So as always, guys, I have been Running Man Sam. This has been a super duper shoe test, and I will see you guys in a bit.